Hi, Beth Ann here. I just wanted to hop on and show you what I've been up to. This past week, I was working on a Craft Roulette card, and I wanted to recreate it because it's all about the details. So I want to show you a little tip or trick that you might enjoy. This would make a cute card, wouldn't it? Clean and simple. I have a card base. I have a little white border mat, some brown and some gingham, and then I have some ephemera. I could make a card just like this. But I am someone that loves to create, and it's all about the details. So let's get started. Isn't this stamp cute? It's from 1999, and I picked it up at a craft scrapbook garage sale for $1, and I just felt like I hit the jackpot. Well, for Craft Roulette, for episode 213, we were to have a project that was robust colors, workplace, and mixed media, and I thought this was Mr. Farmer Bear. Now, he doesn't have a name, so I just gave him the name Mr. Farmer Bear. So I decided to stamp him on some watercolor paper and get him watercolored up. So that was the first step in this process, was watercoloring him. And some of you might not be very comfortable with watercoloring, and so I thought it would be good to show you some things that I do. I have there's different ways to do watercoloring, and one of them is to use some watercolored pencils. So I have some Stampin' Up ones, which are a higher price point, but they match the ink that I have in my stash. But I use these all the time, and these came from Hobby Lobby, and I've had them a very long time. And I usually mix and match them. But for today, I just used a few of them. So watercolor pencils, they're very nice because you can also just use them on a card when you need to for some coloring without watercolor. I did stamp these on some watercolor paper, and I am using the pencil. If you see, I'm going where the tuft fur is, where it's tufted up, and around the outline of the bear. So that's where I'm using this darker brown, and I'm using a water pen brush here. And now I'm just going to go in and bring my water, and it'll mix the dark and the lighter color together. And a lot of people, I have to tell you, I felt a little intimidated by watercoloring at first, but my daughter watercolors all the time and she makes beautiful art, lots of outdoor garden fairies. She does some fantastic work, and she always is using watercolor. So it's a forgiving medium, and I'm just going in and applying a coat just like that. And you can see that the darker from the pencil is mixing in. Just like that. And it's super easy. It really is. Now, you don't have to have a water brush like this. It's nice to put water in it, especially if you're traveling and you want to be able to take it with you. But I don't even have water in the barrel because I have some here. I just like the tip of this brush. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and I will go back and do another coat because it's still lighter than I want, but I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. And I'm going to go start on the overalls. The overalls were my favorite part to watercolor. I used this Marina Mist. It's a retired Stampin' Up, and I thought it made a good jean color for the faded jeans. So I hope everyone's been having a good week. I had a pretty good week. Pretty uneventful. I did get to meet my friend Debbie, who's a great supporter of my channel. She's always commenting on my videos, and I got to have dinner with her the other night, so that was fun. And this weekend is Mother's Day, so I'm excited about giving my Mother's Day gift to my mom and hope she likes it. All right, I'm going to the darker part here, and if you see that I'm hitting the wrinkled line area with it, where it's darker. And that way, it's going to look like that it's more folded in those areas. Alright, just like that. Now I'm going to come in with the lighter again. See how it's starting to come together? Pretty fun, isn't it? If you have not given it a try, I think this would be something that I would recommend highly to start with. So I've finished coloring the bear's fur. What do you think? I think it turned out pretty good. I made sure to get it dark around those edges, see? And then it's lighter here, as if the sun is shining on him. Now I'm using this gray because I have his little watering can to color, and for this I really just used the pencil, nothing else, and I just give it a really quick color. What's nice is you can go back in after. I'm not even going to fill it all the way in. That's what's wonderful about watercolor. You don't even have to fill it all the way in. And then I'm just giving it some water, and it's just blending right up. And then after, I might go back in and do it a little darker in some places. And maybe add a little brown to give it a rusty look, but we'll see. I also have my little pitchfork, and I want that to be gray as well. Now I think I am going to do my coloring and then add the water. That way you can see how simple it really is. So we've got a stem here for the little leaves. Oops, this one's starting to break. That's one thing about a watercolor pencil. It's a pencil and the lead can break, and you got to deal with that. Get some. It's actually been broken for a while, and I just make sure to go to the other side and use it. I don't want to waste it. Come on, see? All right. So I got that. Get some yellow in my leaves here. And you can see I'm not really doing a lot and leaving a lot of white space because you want the water to be able to move around. And I did the handle yellow, and I did this the red? Yeah. Did a little red in here. And for my bird, I made him blue. And a little pink on his belly. So off camera, I finished with a little orange and brown right in the center there. And I added a little more gray to the watering can and a little orange right there. So that's what I did off camera. And now I'm going to go in with colored pencils and give his fur a little tufting. So how I did that, let me show you. Let's see. I took a brown that pretty much matches the color here, and just go in and start giving it little flicks. I'm flicking up. It might give a different look if we flick down, but that gives texture to his fur in some places. And if I had it even pointier, it might, you know, do it even differently. But I like that. Just gives it a little texture. And I also want to go in on this watering can a little bit over with a little of my gray pencil. It's still slightly wet, but this I can define some of the dark places a little more. We could even, and these colored pencils are Prismacolors. All right, so that gives that a little more definition too. All right, now let's ink up the sides with some Distress ink, Vintage Photo. That's really going to, let me pull in our card again. I want you to see it before we put the Vintage Photo on, what it might look like. To me, it doesn't blend in with the colors of the paper with it being white, and I want it to be able to be cohesive. So that's why I'm going to bring in some Vintage Photo Distress ink. Now I used this, but before I had it, I used my Stampin' Up, my darkest brown, and I'm forgetting the name of that color. It's a coffee color, like cappuccino or something like that. So getting this distressed on the edges like this helps blend it now. That, I just feel like it knocks back that white a little bit around the edge. So when I think of robust colors, I think of autumn. Those rich, dark colors of autumn. You know, the leaves and sunflowers. So that's where the colors came from. And I've got this already. I have this thread, and I want to put that on the bottom. This is, oh sorry, it's upside down. Sticky Stitches from Colorbach. Now I don't think you can get this, and it is pretty nice because one side's already all sticky, and all you have to do then is get it folded over around the back. Now, see if this one will. That one does fine. That one did fine. So the only one that doesn't want to do its thing is this side here. Maybe it's not as sticky. There, I got it. So this is part of mixed media, right? Having some thread in there. I wanted to make sure you knew I did not go and braid that. it came that way. And I don't think you can get it because I got it from a swap table. So back to, let's look at the ephemera. So this would still be pretty cute if we put that on there, wouldn't it? I could have even put it underneath and had the threads going across. But like I said, I fell in love with Mr. Farmer Bear, and I'm going to be putting him on here. And so I started with seeing if I could put the ephemera on, and it was going to cover it all up. So that's when I thought, I'm just going to cut these out. So let's fussy cut it out. And I started with cutting the smaller one. Now, I like to fussy cut. Some people may not. I find it very comforting. And instead of moving the scissors, you move the paper more than the scissors. I'm left-handed, so it's hard for me to see sometimes what I'm doing. I don't know. I guess I've never experienced being right-handed, so I don't really know what it's like for you. But I feel like I'm always not able to see what I'm doing. That's how it was when I would write. So I've fussy cut them out and I've inked the edges. Not that you can tell, but it covers up any white area that might be showing from the other side. So this was like this. Let's see, where is it? It was here, and I've cut them apart and cut them around. And so I'm going to glue this one flat behind our Mr. Bear, Farmer Bear. And the other one we are going to put on some dimensionals. I've already got my threads down there. Alright, I started to glue him down and then held back so that I could get it where I want it. Do it a little slowly here. I want plenty of this showing the center because we're gonna doctor the center up. You're gonna love it, you guys. You're going to love it. So let's go ahead and adhere this. I'm doing it straight down, and I just have to be careful these little edges don't hold it up too far, and I don't think it will. I got all these little pieces here. Alright. Got to make sure I get it centered. And I don't want the edges hanging off. I think that's pretty good. It's more towards the bottom, but that's okay. And it's hanging off just a hair. Slide it down more. There. That's looking good. And now what I want to do to this is kind of curl the petals with my fingers a little bit before I put on the dimensionals so that it's kind of curved down. And then we want to get some dimensionals on the back. And wait, just wait till you see what we do next. Because it is a mixed media project, you know. I want to use plenty of different things in it. Okay. Getting a little curl to those petals. And we're going to place it right by the foot, kind of overlapping the pitchfork a little bit. Just a little bit here. I think that's good. So isn't it looking good? But we're not done yet. I want to give a little flash to the middle of our sunflowers, and we also have to put a little hello on the side because that's the kind of card it needed to be, a hello card. Alright, so first let's put the flash on there. Now, as I was talking about watercolor, this is not watercolor paper, but I'm going to use some of these pearl watercolors, and they sit on top of the paper. It doesn't like soak in, so we can get away with it. I find that I don't use these to paint a whole like scene. I've used it to add shimmer to water. Oh, actually, I think I want the darkest color there. I've used it for shimmer for water, to have a shininess on leaves, but I don't like use it and paint with it all the time. So we're going to put some right here in the dark area of both of the sunflowers, and that'll give it a little shimmer, and we just have to wait a minute for it to set up. Actually, I think I will be blotting it off and then reapply. That's what I want to do, I think. So get some more. The more I get that paint moving, the more, there, that's it. That's a thicker coat of it. There, that's going to give it a little shimmer. Now, we're going to wait for that to dry, and then it's time to put in some gel pen highlights and get our hello on. So I went ahead and put the hello on and added some gems. I had 3 of these little gold gems that I thought matched pretty nicely, so I put those on there. It's always so nice when you finish a pack of something. All right, so the final thing is the gel pen, and I really enjoy using gel pen to add highlights on a card. So I've zoomed in a little bit just so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do just little dots of it up here, like the sun's hitting his ear, and on his arm a little bit, his hand, or his paw, I should say, but he is a farmer bear, you know. And I'm going to add a little in his ear because we did not make that real dark there. So those are some highlights, and you probably feel like I don't even really see them back. But the ones that I really want, oh, you know what? I want to put one in his eye, each eye, and a little one on his nose. The ones that I really want us to focus on are on the sunflowers. I really think this is going to set it off. So I want to do like little dots. I'm going to move it a little bit. I'm actually just poking it, and that's not, I want them more random. I've got them to kind of go faster. I'm thinking too much there. All right, I like that. And then now I'm going to add some white gel pen, flicking it up like this to give a look with more depth. I guess that's the right word. I really like doing this to the flower. What do you think? We just have to do it to the bottom one. So now I'm making myself just be random. That. And then the same thing here. Make sure you just kind of flick. So especially like right here where it's really dark. I loved the color of that paper like that, but now we can make it all right. Well, there is our finished card. So let me go over it a little bit, and I'll show you my original because this was my second go at it. So for Craft Roulette 213, we had to have a hello. Robust colors, workplace, he's Mr. Farmer Bear, and mixed media. So I've used gel pen and watercolor and colored pencil. And so here's the final look at the card. What do you think? Do you like how it turned out? I think I hit everything. And here is the other one that I did for Craft Roulette. The only real difference in the two cards is that in this card I used a different gem. These are enamel dots. My friend Laura gave them to me, so I only had the 3 of them. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it inspires you to practice with some watercolor. I hope you're having a great crafty day. I'd love for you to like and subscribe to my channel. It would give me great joy. Bye for now.